The MX is the Cisco Meraki series of security appliances. In this video, we will cover the MX platform overview, models of MX security appliances, licensing and features, automatic site-to-site VPN, malware protection, software-defined WAN, high availability, and how to choose the correct size of MX for your requirements. Let's get into it. MX Platform Overview. The MX is a 100% cloud-managed appliance providing comprehensive security, networking, and application control features. On top of the standard security features you'd expect to find in a quality next-generation security appliance, such as stateful firewalling, VPNs, intrusion detection, and prevention services, the MX also includes advanced malware protection, layer 7 visibility, content filtering, traffic shaping, and software-defined WAN. From a reliability standpoint, each model of MX has dual fixed WAN interfaces and a cellular uplink to maximize the uptime of your network. They also support a warm spare failover and redundant power supplies on certain models. Being cloud managed, threat definitions and filter lists are automatically updated as soon as a new vulnerability or malicious website is identified. Definitions, security patches, and new feature updates are pushed out from the cloud to each of your devices, ensuring your networks are always up to date and protected. These updates can be delivered as soon as they become available or in a pre-scheduled maintenance window that suits your needs. The single pane of glass cloud-based dashboard provides end-to-end visibility and reporting for all your Meraki devices. Rich graphical reports, in-depth usage analytics, and intuitive configuration and troubleshooting tools are all included out of the box and accessible wherever you have a browser and an internet connection. MX Security Appliance Models. There's an MX Security Appliance to suit every network, from the ultra-compact teleworker device supporting 5 users to the MX 600, which is capable of handling 10,000 users. The Z1 is an ideal device for ultra-small offices, telecommuters, or even as a remote access out-of-band management device. The MX64 is our most popular device, making up over 50% of all our security appliances shipped to date. The MX65 adds to the feature set of the 64 by adding 2 PoE Plus ports and increasing the overall number of gig interfaces from 5 to 12. Both the MX64 and the MX65 come in a W designation for wireless. The built-in wireless features 802.11ac with up to 1.2 gigabits per second throughput and 4 separate SSIDs. They're both capable of 250 megabits of firewall throughput, 100 megabits of VPN throughput, and are recommended for installations of up to 50 users. They're a great branch-in-a-box solution. For the medium branch, we have the MX84 and MX100. The MX84 has 10 copper GigE interfaces and 2 SFP ports. Firewall throughput is 500 megabits per second and VPN throughput is 250. The device is recommended for networks of up to 200 users. The MX100 has 9 copper GigE ports and 2 SFP ports. Firewall throughput is 750 megabits per second with VPN throughput of 500 megabits per second. Select this device for networks of up to 500 users. At Meraki, we use the MX100 at our Sydney and London offices. The MX400 covers off our head office. The MX400 and 600 are our large campus devices. They're modular platforms supporting a range of interface types, including copper GigE, SFP GigE, and SFP plus 10 GigE. Redundant power supplies are included in both devices. Both security appliances have firewall and VPN throughput of 1 gigabit per second. The MX400 is capable of supporting 2,000 users, and the 600 is capable of supporting 10,000 users. The maximum connection count is 1 million and 2 million respectively. MX feature license subscriptions. The MX security appliance is an exception to the Meraki product portfolio in that it supports 2 levels of license. Out of the box, your MX will include the Enterprise Feature License. The included enterprise features are super powerful and may exceed many of your customers' needs. The site-to-site auto VPN feature is sufficient reason alone to choose MXs for your networks. This is a cloud-brokered VPN service that allows you to build a dynamic, self-healing, resilient IPsec VPN in a couple of clicks of your mouse. Software-defined WAN adds intelligence and automation to your traffic flows. It's a transport-independent service that supports policy-based routing and allows for dynamic path selection based on application type, link quality, and other factors. High availability failover ensures maximum uptime for your network in the event of a device failure. Application control and traffic shaping allow you to get super granular with what you want to allow on your network and determine how much bandwidth you want to allocate to each application type. The slightly more expensive Advanced Security license includes all of the enterprise features plus a bundle of additional security subscription services to enhance your appliance's capability. These include Google Safe Search and YouTube for Schools, Cisco Advanced Malware Protection with its Global Threat Intelligence Network, Cisco SourceFire IDS and IPS to detect and protect traffic between the internet and the LAN, as well as VLAN to VLAN. ThreatGrid Behavioral Monitoring provides sandbox execution of potentially malicious files, and IP geolocation database for geographical-based firewall rules. The most important thing to know about these 2 licenses is that you must be running the same licensing level organization-wide. Now, you may have multiple networks within your organization and say, hey, I really want to run advanced security at my head office, but only enterprise out at the branches and for the teleworkers. Well, you're not able to do that. All MXs in the organization must be licensed to either all enterprise or all advanced security. Now, there is a workaround to this. You could put the headquarters MX in one organization and the branch offices in another, but it's not ideal. Firstly, you'll lose your aggregated end-to-end reporting and analytics, as this rolls up to an organizational level. Secondly, you won't be able to take advantage of the auto VPN to automatically configure and heal your site-to-site VPNs. You can still set up non-Meraki VPNs between organizations like you would to an ASA or Azure, but you'll lose some of the really compelling features that are in auto VPN. So our recommendation is have all MXs in the one organization. MX feature, automated site-to-site VPN. This feature alone is enough to deploy Meraki MXs at every single site in your network. VPNs are something that has traditionally been complicated to set up and support and prone to misconfiguration. Picture this. You've shipped a router out to a new branch office that's being set up. You configured it all on your desk before it left. It just needs to be plugged in when it gets to site. Barry, the cabling contractor, is on site and has racked up the equipment and plugged it in. But the tunnel just won't come up. You phone Barry. Barry, I need you to console into the router and type some commands for me. Okay. Which one's the console port? 30 minutes later, you've got Barry set up. You finally configure his serial port, you download PuTTY, and you've got a console. We're getting there. Okay, Barry, I want you to type show run and hit enter. Okay, now scroll down until you see the word crypto and read to me what it says there. This is going to be a long, slow process. Does this scenario sound familiar to anyone? I know it's happened to me. With Meraki MX Auto VPN feature, all of the headache of site-to-site VPNs is removed. Because all Meraki devices talk to the centralized cloud dashboard to fetch their configurations, you'll never again end up in a situation phoning Barry to step him through crypto maps or hashing methods due to a bricked offline device. Not only is the distribution of configurations seamless, The actual setup of the VPNs couldn't be easier. It's a simple matter of clicking a radio button to select whether your MX is a hub or a spoke. Then, if you've selected spoke, picking a hub from the drop-down list. Now, if you want to add resilience to your network, you can select a second hub or a third and arrange them in order of preference. Finally, browse the list of local networks and check yes or no as to whether you'd like them to be available on the VPN. You're done. It's as simple as that. You now have a fully resilient hub and spoke VPN between your sites. Because the VPN is cloud brokered, if your MX is on a dynamic IP and changes its address, it'll simply update the dashboard and the new configs will be pushed out to all the other MXs that are participating in the VPN. Easy stuff. From a monitoring and troubleshooting perspective, Dashboard gives a really beautiful and intuitive view of your VPNs, as you can see on the right-hand side of this slide. Usage and latency graphs and a breakdown of all peer information is right at your fingertips. Plus, the circular chart on the right of the page shows you visually how much traffic is traversing each site-to-site link. MX feature, malware protection. Like all things Meraki, we like to offer comprehensive features with minimal complexity. The Cisco Advanced Malware Protection team and the Meraki MX teams worked really hard to bring the best anti-malware solution in the industry to the MX platform. Now that it's fully integrated, the MX gets access to the AMP Global Intelligence Database with the ease of use of the Meraki dashboard. The AMP Intelligence Database has over 500 million known files and receives 1 million new samples every day. This means that your network can be protected even from the newest of threats, because AMP is watching your back. Downloaded files will get checked in real time against the global AMP database. We can even retrospectively detect malware. No solution can detect 100% of the malware. One of your users might be unlucky enough to be patient zero. If they happen to download some malware that's not yet been identified as a threat, but is a few hours or a few days later, you as the administrator will get notified so that you can take corrective action against the files that have already been downloaded. The Security Center gives you a graphical view of what threats have been blocked, where they're coming from, and which users or hosts are triggering them. It also combines information from the IPS and IDS so that you're presented with a more holistic view of your security landscape. Threat Grid provides sandbox execution of unknown files either in the cloud or on a local sandbox. You can monitor and play back the actions performed by the file to determine its intent. Software-defined WAN characteristics. SD-WAN provides MPLS-like functionality at a fraction of the cost or complexity. There are 4 main areas that Gartner says are required to classify a solution as SD-WAN. The first of those is transport independence. The solution must be completely agnostic to the underlying connection type. So it doesn't matter if you build your SD-WAN over the top of an existing carrier MPLS network, the public internet, LTE, 3G, satellite, or even dial-up. It's going to work. Secondly, SD-WAN needs to offer dynamic path selection. The SD-WAN enabled appliance must be able to identify multiple paths and offer some sort of intelligence in how it chooses to best route to the destination, without manual intervention. A simple interface for managing the WAN. Well, if the interface is not simple, we might as well go back to hand configuring MPLS PE routers via the CLI. And must support VPNs. To create an overlay WAN, we need to stitch together all of these features somehow and make sure it's secure and can advertise our local networks to remote sites. This is achieved by the use of virtual private networks. So at Meraki, our MX appliances absolutely meet and exceed all of these requirements set out by Gartner. MX feature software-defined WAN. So how do we go about implementing this? SD-WAN completely abstracts the transport away from the service giving complete transport independence. We do this by using our AutoVPN functionality. As long as there is IP reachability, AutoVPN will build the IPsec overlay tunnels. Application optimization. As with all Meraki devices, application visibility is built right in. You can use this application awareness combined with QoS and traffic shaping and ensure super granular control over the traffic flows on your WAN. Meraki supports not only failover and load sharing, but granular intelligent path selection based on individual traffic flows and traffic types. You can set specific rules based on source address, destination address, port number, application type, or a combination of any of those things. As well as brute failover, when a link goes down, we also support soft failover of individual traffic types based on custom criteria. So what does this mean? Well, you can set up a custom performance class that says, for example, VoIP traffic should be on a path with less than 150 milliseconds of delay. The preferred link for this voice service may not fail completely, but due to congestion or upstream issues, have high latency. The MX device will monitor these thresholds and dynamically move the voice traffic over to a more suitable WAN connection. No waiting for users to call up and complain about voice quality, no manual intervention. So this is intelligent path control. From a security perspective, the overlay VPN isn't just providing a virtualized transport, but it's also a secure encrypted tunnel. This can give you the comfort that your private corporate data can traverse the public internet without any fear of compromise. MX feature highlight: failover and high availability. Mission-critical networks can't afford to be down. At Meraki, we've built multiple layers of redundancy into our MX product line to protect your networks against WAN failure, power interruption, and appliance faults. In the event of an appliance failure, the warm spare feature will ensure that your site stays online automatically. Because your configurations and features are synchronized from the cloud, all of your firewall rules, DHCP configuration and leases, VPNs, and advanced security services will continue to operate off the backup device. Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, VRRP, ensures minimal interruption to client devices as the switchover happens. Dual redundant WAN connections means you have the option of protecting your network connectivity to the internet via multiple service providers. This can be achieved with a basic failover or using concurrent load balancing if required. Granular traffic control rules allow you to specify what traffic takes priority on each link and ensure that in a failover event, your most critical traffic continues to operate as expected. All MX devices also support cellular WAN, providing a third option to access the internet in the event of a total exchange outage or a backhoe event. High availability is simple to configure, and monitoring of links and devices is all directly from the dashboard. Alerts can be configured to notify the administrator of a failure event, so a ticket can be raised with your service provider or an RMA arranged for the device. Resource: MX Sizing Guide. This document is available on our website via the link at the bottom of the slide. Alternatively, just Google Meraki MX Sizing Guide. It's a fantastic resource for helping you with the question, which MX is the best fit for my network? The sizing guide provides a side-by-side comparison of each model of MX, so you can select firstly the physical requirements such as port quantity and type, PoE, power, and so forth, and then compare line rate network performance. It goes on to articulate each security feature and the comparative performance impact of enabling that service. Most useful, though, are the real-world use cases. These cases have been developed in collaboration between product development, engineering, and the sales teams of real-world customer networks. Do you want to know what a K-12 school with limited bandwidth would look like? How will their device perform with NAT, content filtering, layer 7 firewall rules, traffic shaping, malware protection, safe search, and web caching all turned on? Well, it's in the sizing guide. How about a college that's a high bandwidth user but only wants to enable NAT, malware protection, and layer 7 to block BitTorrent. Well, that's in the sizing guide too. Retail services for branches or head offices, all in the sizing guide. So this is your go-to resource for comparing our products against each other and as a tool to use when comparing us to our competitors. We constantly revise and update it as we add new products and features to our security portfolio. In this video, we discussed the MX platform, various models of MX security appliance, licensing type and features, the cloud-brokered automatic site-to-site VPN, malware protection, software-defined WAN, high availability features, and how to choose the correct size of MX for your requirements. This concludes the video on the MX series of security appliances.